Уважаемый Нурсултан Абишевич,
Mr. Nursultan Nazarbayev, dear friends, colleagues, so I agree with an opinion of the colleagues who had the statement. Our summit is unordinary and has a milestone significance for us. And over more than 20 years of work on the Caspian Convention enshrines the right and obligation of our countries for the fate of the Caspian Sea and determines the exact rules for its use. I would like to express gratitude for those who are engaged in this work, leaders, negotiators, experts. On the basis of consensus, we have developed a modern, balanced international treaty. This is a convention that replaces the agreements of 1921 and 1940 between Soviet Union and Iran. This convention established such issues as delimitation, navigation, fishery zones, military cooperation of our states, guarantees the use of the Caspian Sea for the peaceful purposes only, and non-presence of military forces of other countries. And settlement of the legal status has an opportunity for us to be on a different level of partnership in order to develop our cooperation in different directions. And the legal framework will be supplemented by our 6 line agreements in economy, transport, trade, security. Russia is aimed at energetic work to implement them with all Caspian states, particularly on the basis of the economic cooperation agreement. The priority will be given to the building of regional trade and economic ties and deepening of close and mutually beneficial cooperation. I would like to note that the trade turnover of Russia with Caspian states is being increased. And in 2017, the trade turnover increased by 20% and was $22 million. And in January and May, it also increased by 10%. And the decisions on the Caspian Economic Forum will contribute to the strengthening of our contacts. And Russia proposes to be focused on cooperation in the sphere of digital economy and to introduce new technologies and e-commerce and to deal with digitalization of our operation, cargo transportation and logistics. And we count that these agreements will contribute to building common integrated infrastructure. Transport connectivity is one of the key factors for our sustainable growth and strengthening of cooperation between our countries. In this regard, I would like to inform you that in Russia we have strategy for development of maritime ports in the Caspian Sea up to 2030, and it establishes the prospects of our development of the Caspian communication and associated road and other transport communication. And till 2025, we want to build a new port in the Caspian Sea that will have the capacity for the heavy cargo vessels. And we want to integrate our Russian ports into the global and Eurasian transport hubs. And we want also to increase the capacity and increase the volumes of the handled cargoes. And we also support the initiatives of South-North, and it includes the railway, road, and maritime projects, and it will also allow us to increase 2.5 times So we have 25 million tons from Europe through Iran to Middle East and South Asia. And the development of these projects and equal conditions for the Caspian states would be also contributed by the agreement in the field of transport. And experts of 5 countries could have an opportunity to work closely on this project. And I would like to note that tourism is also a promising field for us. For the resorts of the Caspian Sea can also accept more than 1 million tourists. But for that, we should have infrastructure. In Russia, we are working on the building of a ship, Peter the Great, and this will have an opportunity to have the navigation in the Caspian Sea, calling to all the countries. And we also plan to accelerate work in the coastal area to have the resorts on these areas and hotels. We could have a program of joint our initiatives in the sphere of tourism. We think that this is important to have cooperation in the sphere of environment and conservation of biological resources. Within this Caspian 5, we have been implementing useful initiatives, the Framework Convention and of EIA and protocol on the impact to the environment in the transboundary context. These documents ensure the check of the infrastructure projects that have potential risks for the favorable conditions in the Caspian Sea. Last year, the Profile Commission also made an important decision to extend the ban on the sturgeon fishing, and Russia also welcomes this project, and we are ready to support to this ban to be enlarged. And we should also finish the work on the document on fight against poaching. Dear colleagues, we understand that this is quite a responsibility for Caspian states for the security in the Caspian region, because nearby there are some unstable regions, Middle East, Afghanistan, and that is why the life requires our common and close cooperation. And it's important for our countries to build systematic fight against terrorism and organizational crime. We should expand our work on our special services and border control services. And we have a special protocol for that on cooperation in the sphere of security. And Russia welcomes these decisions and is ready to be actively involved in their implementation. Further, we should also think about a separate document on interaction in fight against drug trafficking in the Caspian region. We think it is important to develop our ties in the military activities and to implement visits of our vessels, enlarge our practice of participation of our vessels in different activities. For example, a Cup of Sea that is held within the Army Games. And we have important agreement on the elimination of and prevention of incidents in the Caspian Sea. And one of mechanism could be regular consultations on the line of military services and maybe some visits of our commanders and chiefs. And we should also work on the elimination and prevention of emergencies. And our rescue services implement exercises, and they work on special joint scenarios in case of emergencies. Of course, we should continue this practice. And in conclusion, I would like to express my gratitude to Mr. Nursultan Nazarbayev for such big work done by Kazakhstan to prepare this very important meeting.